Hello and welcome, beautiful souls. I have missed you. Thank you so much for allowing me the space to be able to support myself through this crazy, crazy month of June. Um, I felt really called and compelled this morning to do some pick a card readings for you. So what we'll be doing is we'll go ahead and dive in live. I brought out lots of fun card decks to look at and to kind of explore what those messages look like for you for this next period of time. So right now we're in the middle of an eclipse season. We're going I believe it's the 5th of July. We're going to be facing that very last eclipse of this series of eclipses, and it's going to be stepping into something new. So what I wanted to look at for you, what I felt really called to look at for you was, what are you shifting out of right now? What is it that's deep and dark and what you've really been struggling with, trying to move through right now? And how can you support yourself moving into that next phase? Because I really feel that July is going to be just full of excitement and newness. I feel like once we get through that last phase, of course it'll be kind of a new learning experience still. We'll still be in all these retrogrades, right? If you follow all of that. But once we get through this period of this, some of other readers that I look to for guidance, they refer to it as a time of rebirthing or time of birthing. So once we come through that period, we'll be able to face things in a different way. We'll see things completely differently. I feel like that last piece finalizes and solidifies our transformation. That period of the eclipse series that we're going to have to move and shift through. So I was really excited to hopefully be able to get these messages to you early enough so that they could support you in time for that coming out of that last bit of the eclipses in July. So first I'm going to go ahead and just take a moment to kind of ground, center myself, call in my guides, ask that they be with us today, and then we're going to dive in. I'm just going to take in a few slow, deep breaths. Oh, divine guides, I call you forth today. I ask that you be with me and support me during this time that we offer these messages to whomever feels called to receive them today. I call upon Archangel Raphael, Archangel Michael, Archangel Uriel, and Archangel Gabriel. Please surround me, guard me, guide me. Sever any cords, ties, or attachments that do not belong to me. Those that cannot be severed, I ask that you assist me in integrating them, or allowing me the wisdom to know why those cords have not yet been cut, severed, or integrated. Lord Ganesh, remover of obstacles, opener of doors, I invite you with us. I ask that any information that needs to come through today come through clear and unhindered. I call upon my divine guides, those who would be with me today, who would offer their love and support, who be of goodwill, and if it be in accordance with, in alignment with my divine highest self, my free will, and that of those who may be watching this today, whatever day. So be it, so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so let's do this. Are you excited? I'm super excited. I have so many decks of cards out here today, and they are ready. So, but then once we have everything completed, I'll give you a chance to select which deck you feel most called to. So it'll be 3 decks, and I'll give you a chance to check that out shortly here. Okay, so here we have groups 1, 2, and 3. So I invite you to take in a couple of long, slow, deep breaths and really tune in to the energy that's calling out to you today. What is it you need to know? What can you expect from this shift through the last period of these eclipses? What do you most need to know? Group 1, 2, or 3. All right, once you've decided, you can go ahead and click on the link below. The timestamp link below should take you directly to your reading. So I'll go ahead and get started. And welcome, Group 1. So the first card represents what is it that you're shifting through, right? What is it that you're experiencing, you've been experiencing for some time, or that's really come to the surface during this eclipse season, since the last full moon, since the last new moon. What is it that's coming to the surface right now? And that message is blinded by pain. So this message tells me that you're trying to push through. Like, it may be in your nature to push through and just like, we're going to get through this. It's going to be fine. Everything's fine. But the message that I'm getting is what you're leaving behind, what you're shifting out of, is that harsh exterior. You're opening up to your vulnerability and, excuse me, and maybe even actively working to work through some of those difficult emotions. Maybe you've been avoiding your emotions because it's a lot to deal with. It's a lot to take on. But I mean, in reality, we've struggled through a world trauma. Like, we all have been on lockdown because of a world trauma, and it's really okay to lose your shit. Basically, it's totally okay to break down. I don't know if anybody told you that. But if they didn't, I just did. It's totally okay to lose your shit. Cheers. Alright. So this next card tells me how, as you've been letting this go, right? This blinded to pain, not letting yourself experience those emotions, what's allowed you to kind of shift through this. And the card that came up as kind of a supportive card at this time is assessing. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. Assessing for the first quarter moon. We've never been in a more prime state to really get a look at ourselves. Inside, outside, the things we like, the things we don't. Well, the things that we don't like, those are called our shadow. And we often avoid them, try to make excuses for them, or shadow can show up as an old behavior. So maybe you're starting to see some old behaviors popping up again. Old habits, old numbing behaviors is what I'm getting here. And wanting to shift out of that, maybe you're taking a look at the areas that you are blinding yourself to pain. So it sounds like that's what you're trying to move through right now. And it's rough times. So here's some things that you can do to support yourself at this time. So this first set of cards is the Sacred Self-Care Oracle. And we have watch a movie. So maybe it's not really about doing. I get the feeling that that it's hard for you to emote, right? Like, it's hard to laugh or cry. Maybe you're feeling a little bit numb inside. So maybe movies that are very emotional might be good for you to help allow those feelings that are all pent up inside to flow. So, I mean, Where the Red Fern Grows. For some people, it's The Notebook. Something that's really funny can actually like help lift some of the weight of that. Maybe a series of not numbing kind of experiences, but something that's going to ignite emotion in you. passion, excitement, inspiration, things that are very, very emotive. Are really good to try. Sorry, I'm outside, so I have, we still are going to have some traffic because we have puppies that have to come outside sometimes too. It's really hot, so I don't like to leave them out here. Alright, so we have other ways that you can support yourself at this time. Learn. So this particular one, isn't that beautiful? She's like sitting there reading cards. And I think this is more than just like taking on a new skill or like picking up a new process. Like, let's study how to make candles today, or I would like to learn how to, I don't know, right? Like, I don't know what you would want to learn. But I think it's really beautiful that the process that's depicted in this photo, in this image, not a photo, is learning about self. So self-exploration, what does that look like for you? For me, I'll read my cards. Like, let's dive into these cards and see what I'm not seeing. What am I not acknowledging? What am I not seeing? What do I need to shift out of so I can make this better, different, or make it flow easier for me? For some of you, maybe this doesn't really resonate for you. Maybe it resonates more for somebody else to do the reading, and that's okay. But maybe there's some way for you to tap into yourself. Maybe that's through journaling. Maybe that's through drawing. A way for you to really get introspective and ask yourself those questions. But I think that's really the deeper message here of learn. It's not just about learning how to do something new, although that's super exciting, and if you feel like drawn to do that, absolutely do that. But I feel like it's more about learning the inner message. Like, what is it my body needs right now? Like, what do I need for myself? And then we have nature. For some of us, this may be harder. For me right now, my nature experience is just coming out back when it's cool enough. It's hot as heck. I mean, I'm in Arizona, and already, I don't know, I can't look at my phone to tell you what temperature it is, but it was about 100 degrees when I came out here. So I'm sweating. But I really wanted to be outside. I've got a little bit of a breeze. I'm in the shade, so, I mean, I'm good. I can hear the birds. So it's nice. And I don't do that often enough. This is an invitation to go somewhere and really explore and witness the beauty and nature around you if you're in a space where you feel comfortable enough to do that. Right now, I'm not really in a space where I feel comfortable enough to do that. So, that's just how I'm feeling and where I'm at right now. But hopefully, part of that is what I'll be shifting out of with this, the end of this cycle. So we'll see. We'll see. And then finally, we have sing. So what brings emotion to the surface more than really getting involved in a song? And maybe you don't sing for anybody but you. Everybody sings, okay? Everybody sings. Excuse me, one moment. I'll show you George in a minute. Come here, George. Come here. Come here, baby. So this is our cute little interrupter. Say hi, George. Mwah. Say hi. Look at this face. You're rotten. You're rotten. How can you say no to this cute face? You see that dog right there? Do you see that dog right there? So this is Sir George. This is our Interruptus majoris. He likes to be outside a lot. He likes to clean his yard space. He's crazy. Okay, so let's move forward. All right. So my next question for this session, for these cards, the intention for this one was, how can I shift through this right now? What can I do to help shift through this? And the message that you're getting here is the Time Guardian, and the message is you have time. Right? You have time. A lot of us feel like we're trying to rush out there and start everything new and keep moving, keep going, keep growing, keep doing it. And I can resonate with that. I have held at certain moments a desire to like shift through all this and just be done with it all. But that's not the point. The point is you have time. Let this growth happen. Be open to what's coming in for you, right? Because in this moment, at these moments, right, this is when those beautiful gifts are coming in. Those beautiful intuitive gifts are being received by you. And if you are in a space of being able to receive and to learn and to be open and just allow everything to flow in, you have plenty of time to receive, to learn how to use these gifts, how to integrate them and use them. And maybe it's not gifts. Maybe that doesn't resonate for you. Maybe it's just the ability to be present with yourself, to be able to hold space for ourselves long enough to mourn what we need to mourn, to feel what we need to feel, to assess, to be present for these moments of pain and difficulty, hold space for ourselves, learn how to love ourselves through this difficulty. I think that's it's the biggest damn message I've been getting, is how to hold myself through this difficulty. And sometimes that's just watching a movie. Sometimes it is numbing the pain. Sometimes it is barreling through, because sometimes the pain is too much, but you gotta let that pain out. When you don't do that, they call it spiritual bypassing. When you smooth it over with you gloss it over with other processes and methods in which, you'll be fine. And I caught myself doing it a few times. Honor those moments. Be intentional when you're taking that time for yourself to just veg out, zone out, and be numb, but be intentional about it. And when you recognize that you're doing it, try to shift out of it. And if you can't, be patient with yourself, right? Like, sometimes it's legitimately okay to binge watch an entire series of a show on Netflix. It is called numbing. It's a way that we cope with trauma. It's what we do. We avoid those negative experiences by diving into something that helps us feel calm or helps us to numb, to make it through. And sometimes it's just the Band-Aid, yeah, and we're gonna have to dive in and do more stuff, but let's be real about it. This really is the time to feel the feelings, assess what's going on. Like, what do I need to fix right now? How do I need to do this so I can look at myself in the morning? How is this helping me to grow? But you have time. There's no rush. There's no urgency. We are to take this time to explore who we are and what we bring to the world. All right, we got a few more, and I'm getting a little bit wordy here too, guys, so my apologies. So we have the Keepers of the Light. Beautiful goddess Isis. Magic manifesting. Your dreams, visions, and goals are becoming reality. Stay focused. So I asked, what messages do they need to hear to support themselves right now? So whatever it is that you're creating, that you're working on, that you're trying to heal, you're being supported by this gorgeous goddess Isis. She is magic, as we all are. Stay focused on what's important to you. If you lose sight of that and feel like, again, you need to like veg out in front of like Netflix and do your thing, whatever, be intentional. Take that next step the next day. Honor each moment. Be where you are. Feel what you're feeling. Go through your experience. If you need to sit in the bathtub and cry for an hour, whatever, you do you. If that doesn't resonate, watch that movie and get those tears flowing, get that movement going, because the longer you hold that in your body, the chances are really good it's going to turn into physical illness. When we hold that negative emotion in our body and don't express it, it has a tendency to build up energetically and then develop in our physical body. Just some thoughts. That's my belief. Maybe you don't believe that. That's okay. You hold on to your feelings. You hold on to your feelings if that's what works for you. So here's something to think about too. I asked the goddesses, who is here to support you? And I shamefully cannot pronounce her beautiful name. Nemesis? Past. The past. So the past is supporting you. Does that mean that the past behaviors you may be slipping into right now are what's supporting you? Or maybe something in your past, a dream, an expression, a way of being is something you've let go. Maybe that's the message. Maybe that's the reward at the end of this. We'll see. I did ask, what is the reward at the end of this? What should you see more of as you shift out into the end of this cycle with our gorgeous magical dimensions oracle cards? I wish you could see the detail on this. I'll put it up here. Hopefully you can. It's belief, confidence, co-creative power, magical realms. There's a little bit of a glare from the backyard here. Magical realms, look at that. You see that? So cool. So maybe it's connection. Maybe you find someone that you trust to connect with and share and express what it is that you're going through. Maybe it's a therapist, right? Totally okay. Maybe it's a family member, a sister, brother. Maybe it's your best friend. Maybe it's a life coach. Maybe it's somebody who you know and you feel intuitively can support you through this time. All right, so that's what you can expect on the end of this, is confidence and co-creative power. Keep working through it. It's hard, I know. Some days harder than others. Some days are amazing. Some days I feel so light and energetic in my body, and other days not so much. And it's okay. It can be day to day, hour to hour, moment to moment. Just be gentle with yourself. If you feel that tension, that anxiety, just my invitation is to put your hands over your chest, take a long, deep breath in, and tell your body thank you for holding you through this process, right? For holding you up, for loving you, for doing everything in its power to do, to hold together your magical being, right? Thank you. God, that feels good. I'm going to do that one more time. Thank you. Yeah, that feels good. That feels right. So, whatever resonates for you, that's just a suggestion. But finally, we have one of my favorite sets of cards that I haven't used in a while. These are the Sweet Ass Affirmation cards. So this is your final affirmation for your reading, Group 1. My body is my sanctuary, and I treat it with divine care. And the message is this. When you get in line to have the fast food let me show you the picture first, and then I'll try to read it again, because these throw me for a loop every time. It's so funny. When you get in line to have the fast food mascots serve shit to you on a tray, are you using your health and consciousness to their fullest capacities? To perform at your highest, you must feel your best inside and out. Treat your body with respect and optimal care, for it is the sanctuary that carries your sacred passenger. So, how funny. We were talking about coping skills, right? So, maybe you, like many of us, have participated in the I'm too depressed to cook phase, right? And so maybe you participated in getting in line at the fast food restaurant and having garbage served to you. Maybe we can think about ways we can make better choices too, so we can take better care of ourselves. That's all I have for you today, Group 1. Beautiful, beautiful messages for you today. I'm so, so happy you shared this time with me. All right, well, sending you love, light, and take care. Welcome, beautiful souls who selected group number 2. I had to come inside. It was way too hot outside, and my phone actually stopped recording just because it became too hot to continue to film. So, so here we are. Here we are with Group Two's reading. So the first card that came out for you, Group Two, is Artificial Heart. So this speaks to me of just kind of being, I want to say being numb to the experience of being right now. It feels like it's hard to know what's yours, what's not yours, what's authentic to you. So it really feels like not integrity, but authenticity. Like asking the question: is this mine? Does this belong to me? What of this that I'm experiencing or feeling or shifting through or pursuing belongs to me, and what is the ideal or suggestion of another person? Like it doesn't feel like it's truly authentic. Where are you compromising your wants, needs, and desires for the sake of calm, for the sake of community, for the sake of your environment, to keep the peace? A lot of times we'll do this, especially under circumstances where there's a lot of other influence around us. Right now you might be a little bit limited into how you can express that and how that shows up for you, but and you may feel like you need to continue to keep that peace, right? To keep the peace with the people in your environment. But something important that's supporting you right now is discernment. I hate that there's that halo. It's such a pretty card. There we go. Discernment. So I think the key is that we identify for ourselves what is ours, what is not, what is someone else's influence, what do we actually want in this situation or circumstance. And the next card we have here, hydrate. What a beautiful message, right? I would just spent the last 2 hours outside in the heat, so it's really important to stay hydrated. It's summertime for a lot of us. Some places are still a little bit cooler, but it's still important to remember to keep our body hydrated, especially during the season of like eclipse seasons or really like powerful shifts in energy. It helps us to flush out any toxins that are already existing in our bodies, and helps us to continue to have the ability to flow naturally with our environment. Plus it's super good for you, so who doesn't want to stay hydrated, right? Okay, so then we have a couple more things that can support you at this time are read and beauty. So to me, this speaks to taking care of yourself. Some of us, like me personally, I love to get lost in a good fiction novel. Like, that's my jam. Doesn't matter what it is. I absolutely love fiction, supernatural, anything related to magic. I'm in, I'm sold. But I think it's also about exploring what feeds your soul. I think actually sitting down to read a book versus like letting a book read to you on Audible, which I'm down for Audible, right? Like I have a vast collection of awesome Audible books. But really getting involved in your story and allowing your mind to process and imagine the images, right? The things that you're seeing and experiencing, that allows us the ability to create. And also beauty, right? I feel like beauty is it's really the ultimate way of taking care of ourselves. So I'm going to be honest, I literally got up, made a cup of coffee, and decided I'm going live today. So here it is in all her beautiful glory, right? No makeup. I maybe washed my face, right? Like I just washed my face. And here we are, right? To me, I'm learning how to accept my own inner beauty. and doing things that make me feel good about myself. Sometimes it's coloring my hair to bright, beautiful hues, and sometimes that's doing my nails, which I have not done in months. It is what it is. It's whatever it is for you in that moment. If that means, throwing on your best dress and doing your hair and makeup, go for it. If it means, if you're, someone who identifies as male, you trim up your facial hair, clean up you do a little manscaping, if that makes you feel good, yes, whatever makes you feel beautiful, makes you feel good about yourself, do that. All right, so the next card that we have here, now I asked, with these particular cards, with the Dragon Fae cards, I asked, what can this group do to help shift through this period of eclipses, right? Like, what can you actively do to help you and support you through your process? So beautiful. I don't think I've ever seen this card before, so I'll go ahead and share it with you. I love the Dragon Fae Oracle. There's both fairies and dragons, which are totally my favorite things, right? Don't pay attention to the to my office in progress. I literally had to shift last minute, so please don't judge. Shangwang, be light of heart. That makes absolute sense to me. When I see that, when I see be light of heart, I think joy, pleasure, indulgence. Really tune in, especially when you've been so focused on taking on other people's ideas of what should be, what you should be, what you should do. Just take a minute, shed the shoulds, right? You don't need anybody shoulding on you. You don't need to be shoulding on anybody else, right? So take a minute, right? Figure out what brings you joy, what lights you up, what fills you with excitement, and participate in that. For some people, it's like comfort foods, right? For other people, it's like diving face first into a great book to get lost in. But being light of heart, when we're in our joy, when we follow what our spirit wants us to do, we continue to be guided on that path. And I think that's a really beautiful message, because the more you feel that light of heart, the more you'll be led down the path you're intended to go, right? What's right for you, what's authentic for you. This next card is how you'll be supported at this time. And we have this beautiful card, faith, right? Trust, have faith. Humanity and benevolence. Stay calm, trust the good in yourself and others, and see the light in the world. You are part of that light. The more you follow your own joy, your own bliss, that's the message, right? That's how we connect with our own light. That's how we light up the world. It's connecting to our own joy. There's so much power in love and joy and connection. And there's so much more power in that, because it has the ability to expand and uplift, right? And heal, right? Versus, contract and constrict and create fear. So tap into that. Beautiful, beautiful message. Yes. See the light in the world. See the light that you are in the world and how you contribute. And keep showing up, keep doing it, practice it, right? It's not perfect, so if you show up and it's not well received, who cares? You're doing what lights you up. And when you do that, you will draw to you the people that are connected to that. So you'll continue to you'll feed off each other, So it's like when you have that really great friend that you can spend hours with and you get lost in conversations with them, and it fills you up, it lights you up. That's how you know that's your connection. That's how you continue to perpetuate more joy. You do so together. You inspire one another. You continue to use your own light to expand and share with others, and they in turn expand and share with others, and it's this really beautiful chain reaction. So, oh, I'm so excited for you. What a beautiful message. And then we have these beautiful goddess cards. I asked what other additional support would the goddesses like to bring to you today. So we have Iris. Isn't that gorgeous? I wish you could see the detail in this. It's super bright. Communication. The message that I'm getting is communication, the way you speak to not only others, but to yourself. I think the problem with having a difficult time with the discernment piece, with our authenticity, is sometimes we don't know what we want, and we do what other people tell us to do, and that feels okay, so we keep doing it. Maybe it's not authentic to us, but we just keep doing it anyway because, you know, I mean, it's what pays the bills, or it's what's getting me through this moment. Or it doesn't resonate, but you really value that person's input and you don't want to disappoint them. And I think the important message here is communication. That is such a key piece to being authentic, right? To showing up in the world, being in your integrity, and being your own sovereign being, right? You speak for yourself, you choose for yourself, and you follow your own joy and your own bliss. You follow your own light. You don't depend on others for that light because you generate it for yourself. You give yourself that ultimate joy that we seek, right? That one piece of us that just, it seems like it's never ending. Like once we touch on joy, it's always there. We know what it is. It's easily recognizable. Communication is our way. It is like the pathway to our authenticity, right? By saying no, by saying no, by setting a firm boundary, drawing a line in the sand, no, that doesn't resonate for me. And it's perfectly okay. Just because it doesn't resonate for you doesn't mean that person won't love and accept you anymore. And if it does, they're absolutely the wrong person for you. People that show up for you, people that truly love and appreciate and support you, will always support you. They will appreciate your ideas and what you have to contribute. They will appreciate your creativity and your spontaneity, or, you know, you're just your own unique brand of being. We're each meant to be here for our own individual reasons. And one way to share who you are with the world is by identifying what that is for yourself and then sharing it through communication. It's a beautiful, beautiful message for you, Group 2. Then I asked, how can Group 2 expect to come out of this eclipse season? So let's take a look. We have this absolutely gorgeous card that gives me chills. I'm so excited for you. We have transformation. Sorry, I have to keep tilting it so you can at least see that photo. Is that beautiful? Transformation, metamorphosis, synchronicity, the unexpected. It's time for that change. If you haven't already, it's time to fully claim and step into who you are. It's your moment to just discover who you are and be you and show up in the world in the most authentic and beautiful way that you can. Shine your light. We all need to see what that is. All right, so finally, these are some of my favorite cards. They're super fun, and I haven't even touched them in months. So here we are with a final message of a sweet ass affirmation, because don't we all need it, right? So this message is, my moments turn out the best because I make the best of the way my moments turn out. Right? And I'll read the message on the back here. We all face unexpected adversity in life. Loss of income, illness in the family, someone steals your fruity pebbles. These moments always sneak up when you least expect them, causing internal mayhem in the form of anxiety, depression, and even anger. Although Fruity Pebble theft should be punishable by lashings, what's done is done and cannot be changed. Accept your disposition and make the best of what comes next. For the rest of your life, your moments will always turn out the best if you make the best of the way your moments turn out. So, yes, beautiful, beautiful messages, group 3. I hope that these messages resonated for you, what information came through. Do leave some comments and give me some feedback. Let me know how it went. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye. Welcome, beautiful souls who selected group 3. I'm really excited to deliver these messages for you today. Okay, so the way I started this out was to ask, what is it that you're shifting out of? What are we moving out of through this eclipse period? And what are we going to be stepping into? How we can support ourselves during this time. So what message came through for you is alone in the world. So this is kind of a shadow message, right? A lot of times when crazy things happen, we tend to withdraw a little bit, kind of go into ourselves, or maybe we physically are alone and we don't have someone there to bounce ideas off of, or sometimes we have other people there and we truly just feel alone. I really relate to that. Just because, you know, certain circumstances in my life, I'm a mom, I'm a partner, I'm a child to someone, you know, and the living situation that I'm in has a lot of demands on me. And so in that role, a lot of the time I do feel alone. I do feel like I am alone in the world because there's only one me. So I actually really resonate with that message. I know that I'm not alone. I know that we're not truly alone, but it's shifting out of that, coming into the awareness that we're not truly alone. And what can help support us through this time is resistance, right? Resisting the idea or the belief that we are alone. And I think a way to really reconnect with who we are in our not so aloneness, maybe to spend some more time in nature, grounding. If you're not sure what grounding is, if you're here for like the first time, grounding is actually when you focus your energy and intention and draw energy up from the earth. Sometimes you can do that through just being on the ground in bare feet in the grass. There's actually a chemical reaction within our bodies when we physically connect with the earth. Or bare feet, not tennis shoes, bare feet when we actually connect with the earth. Also, another way that you can ground is through visualization, through practicing the art of visualizing, you know, a root going down into the core of the earth and coming back up, drawing that beautiful energy from the earth to the top of your head and surrounding you and filling you up with that. There's lots of different other methods, but those are just some suggestions. I think a good way to help us feel less alone is to continue to ground. And so I won't lie, I needed that message today for sure. So moving forward, there's a couple other messages here that I asked for connection, right? Like, how do we support ourselves through this time? And one of the messages that came through was to meditate. I really feel like I'm part of group 3, you guys. Meditate. That's the message I continue to get from Spirit. So I'm not surprised to see that here in group 3. Meditation is a way for us to quiet our mind and connect with our inner self, our inner guidance, or with our divine, right? Whatever that looks like for us. There's all kinds of different types of meditation you can do. You can practice a guided meditation just to, connect with your breath and be present in the moment. There's spiritual development meditations that you can complete to help you go through a process of learning and exploration with your spirituality, connecting with your spirit guides. Or maybe just meditation listening into some Hertz frequencies, if that's something that calls to you. There's a lot of information out there on different types of frequencies that can benefit for raising your vibration or helping you to feel balanced, helping you to get grounded. And our bodies, those subtle energies, our bodies are so susceptible to those subtle energies, and they really tend to, over time and practice, have a lot of great benefit. So thank you, Spirit. I got the message. You're absolutely right. I will practice more meditation. Okay? Feeling called out right now in front of all my people here. So then we have positive affirmations. So when I tend to feel alone, and I'm not sure if this is the case for you too, but when I start to feel alone, I tend to make up stories about why. I'm not good enough. They don't love me enough. I'm too different for people to connect with me. And those aren't things that we really need to be telling ourselves, right? We can always replace those messages that we share with other things like, I love myself. I'm amazing. I really showed up for myself today. Or, I'm never alone. I always have spirit with me. Those constant reminders, maybe we need to sit down and make a list of things that really resonate for us and practice working through them and saying them to ourselves as we go through our day. There's been a lot in my household. There's been a lot of like angsty stuff going on, right? So like the kids are starting to get a little anxious. My mom, I live with my mom. She's getting quite a bit territorial and anxious about us being in her space, and that's perfectly okay. We're all experiencing what we're experiencing right now, and I think something to remember is that everybody's going through their own process, right? So my son has emotional processing issues, so he tends to act out a lot more with violence or with acts of like stubbornness, right? Like not listening. So he follows through in a lot of those kind of behaviors, and so there can be like this clashing, right? And if I mess up and I say the wrong thing, I'm cycling through those negative things all day long. But so I have to really make it intentional to approach these people and say, you know what? That was a hard moment, or it was really, really hard today, or we didn't do very good today. I don't feel like I showed up for you the way you needed me, and I'm sorry. Let's make it better from here. Let's both try really hard to do better, and make that commitment to each other, make that agreement to each other. But when you catch yourself going through those negative behaviors or saying those things to yourself, it's good to have something on hand that says, I'm not perfect, but I can try harder, or I can do better. And maybe it's not an affirmation, maybe it's just positive self-talk that we're participating in, just talking about how we love ourselves. We love the people that we're with, that we're spending that time with. We care about them. It was hard today, but let's do better tomorrow. Let's do better from here. So, and then again, how funny is this? Hello. I feel like I'm getting that from Back to the Future. Hello, McFly. Like his two meditates in one reading. I'm like, okay, I get it. Let's do the meditation, right? Let's do it. So you know what? At the end of this, we're just gonna go through a cycle of meditation. I'll just share one with you. If you feel called to hang out long enough to witness it, awesome. If not, that's okay too, right? So here we go. And then I did also ask the Dragon Fae Oracle, what action can this group take to move and shift and help them through this process, because it is a transformation. So how can this group really like get in tune and like shift. What can they do? Whoa. This is very interesting. I don't know that I've gotten this card before, so I'm just going to tell you what comes through for me intuitively. All right, so we have New Moon Fae, Soul Scrying. Oh, you know what this feels like? It feels like meditation, and I am going to cheat a little bit, and and maybe go back to the book and see what the book suggests for this particular Fae, because I feel it's really powerful. Soul scrying. Okay, so scrying is where we take like the surface, like a clear surface, like a crystal ball, or some people used to participate in this with black obsidian, right? Like a large piece of black obsidian. They would make mirrors for people to do scrying, and they would skim the surface of this reflective surface and wait for images to float up to the surface. It's actually a really cool process and a definite reminder for me to participate in this again, just because of so many neat messages, and it's such a cool divination tool that we have available to us. And because our environment speaks to us in so many beautiful different ways. But soul scrying, right? Soul scrying to me, that speaks of meditation again, right? Like going in and talking to your inner advisor, tuning into your inner guide. And you know what? I think that's the meditation we're going to do. I have a meditation to connect with our inner advisor, and I'll go ahead and I'll read it from the book, we'll script it out, and then I'll try to pace myself so that you can get those messages as clearly and concisely as possible as you go through the process. So I'll even include a link once we've uploaded the video so you can just connect to it if you want to try it again later. So yeah, I'm not going to cheat, actually. That's the message I'm feeling, is soul scrying, right? Tuning in. What is our soul trying to tell us? What messages do our souls have for us right now? Where are we? Where are we going? What's happening with this? What do I want? How do I connect with, feed, and fulfill my soul's desire? Right? It's more than our heart's desire. It's more than our physical desires. It's our soul's purpose, our soul's desire. How do we connect with that? Beautiful. Whew. All right. So then I asked what message was one of support. How are you being supported by spirit right now? I'm feeling it, you guys. I am feeling it. Do you see me lighting up here? I'm so excited. I feel like I connect with this group so much. Okay, so this card is Radha, right? Soul flame. We've got soul scrying. We've got meditation twice. We've got soul flame. Rediscover a lost part of yourself. Experience relationship harmony and healing. I think it's that relationship with ourselves. Maybe it is that lost part of ourself, a lost part of our experience with our inner child, or a piece of ourselves that we let go or sacrificed because we felt alone. We didn't feel supported. We didn't feel like our dream could be taken out into the world and make it happen, right? Soul flame. I mean, come on. You cannot make this stuff up. Look how beautiful. Soul flame. Soul scrying. Our soul is crying out for connection. And I'm going to listen. I don't know about you guys, but I know what I'm doing later today. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Here's another reference to absolutely connecting with our soul. So then I asked the beautiful goddesses, right, what support they have for us at this time. And we received Hecate, the in-between. So she's considered to be the triple moon goddess, okay? So we have the mother, the maiden, the crone, right? And there are a lot of really interesting facts about Hecate. But one is true. Many belief systems, right? The ones that follow their belief systems in support of Hecate, they recognize her magical qualities, right? And I honestly believe her magic allows us to go to that space in between our ego and our inner self. I think that's where our magic happens. I think that's where our connection takes place. So, Hecate, very interesting message here. So what can we expect on the other side of this, right? Like, we keep getting this message, I'm feeling, connect, right? Connect with ourselves so we don't feel alone. Spirit is here with us. Meditate, meditate, meditate. Soul scrying, right? Soul flame. What lights you up? What fills you up? Connect to the in-between. Connect yourself. So the message that comes through here, gorgeous. Oneness. And this really speaks to me as a shamanic Reiki practitioner. I've always had a fondness for shamanism and native teachings, native experiences through journey work. Okay, and I think it's really beautiful that there's a Native American medicine man being loved on by a bear, and talks about connection to the divine masculine. So I have a feeling that's our warrior energy. I have a feeling that's our spirit telling us to take that action, the forward action, forward movement. The feminine tends to be a little bit more like receptive and healing, right? And we're in that space of healing right now, but we're shifting out of that into our divine masculine, I feel. And I think it's time for that action to take place, to really embody those messages. Yes, it's about oneness, patience. It's having that, I believe it's having that clarity of mind and intention, like really knowing what the next step is, right? Taking that next step forward with confidence and assurance. When shamans go into their journeys, right, like when they do their spirit walks, they're literally traveling in between worlds. So it's really reflective of that message from Hecate, or Hecate. Apologies, I mean, who pronounces it right? No one, including me. So, so the message, regarding that journey work, they're literally in between worlds. They used to be able to do journeying in a way that could allow them to see the entire landscape without having seen it, or live or experience through the movement of an eagle, or in this case, a bear, or any other animal. So that's how they would deliver a lot of their messages back to their tribe. And it sounds to me like it's really time for us to connect to that part of ourselves, to that part of our inner nature, to see, no, you're not alone. These are the messages for you that are coming through right now. This is your next step. This is empowering you to take action. Though we may feel alone, though we may resist the call to go and meditate and be kind and loving to ourselves, and we may resist a little bit to the experience of really doing that soul scrying and feeling our soul's flame. The Spirit is calling you guys. It's time to connect and figure out what it is that we need to do. And here finally we do have a sweet ass affirmation card, so I'm excited to deliver this for you, dude. I love this. Okay, sorry, I shouldn't dude you, but I mean, there you go, shitting on myself. Dude, like, this is absolute. I shake away from my fears and doubts and sail to my treasures. It is time to accept our beautiful gifts that Spirit is trying to offer us. They're like, hey, if you want it, come and get it. Now's the time for it. We're telling you, connect, connect, connect. What is it that you want? You want these gifts? Come and get them. Come and get them. Connect with me. I'll teach you. I'll show you. We'll go through it together. Whatever. Do it. connect. Here's your treasures. We're trying to give them to you, right? Like, I feel like that's the message I'm getting because I really resonate with this group. Anyhow, so moving on to the actual message for I shake away my fears and doubts and sail to my treasures. Easier said than done, right? But just like twerking, the more you do it, the easier it gets. You may even become addicted to the adrenaline of proving that nervous friend inside your head wrong. That voice wants to protect you, but it also doesn't know how powerful you are. All ships are safest at shore, but that's not what ships are for. Unfurl your sails and harness the wind. An ocean of treasure awaits. Wow. Wow. Right? Like, I feel like that's what they're sharing with us today. Like, meditate, connect with me. Let's talk about it. You're not alone. I'm here. Come on, come over. Let's meditate. Let's get in there. Let's get your messages. Let's get you on your path. Connect with your soul. Do it. So, wow. Hopefully this message resonates for you because it seemed like an incredibly powerful message for me. And after this video, I will go ahead and record a session for you of a guided meditation to connect you with your higher self, or with your inner advisor, higher self, whomever you would see that as. And we don't really predict who that's going to be. It just sort of shows up for you. I've done that meditation a couple of times thinking I might know who to anticipate to see in that meditation. It's always a surprise. We always see different versions of ourselves. Sometimes they're a mentor. Whatever our inner advisor looks like, that's our soul's way of connecting to us. So pay attention to those messages. And if you want to connect about that afterward, go ahead and send me an email. I'm over at awakeningdawn1977@gmail.com. So, or connect with me on my website. You can connect on Facebook, Rising in the East. You can always send me a message there. So without further ado, I'll go grab that meditation. I'll read it off for you, and hopefully you get a lot of benefit out of it. Thank you so much. Thanks for sticking around. I was able to get that meditation here for you, and hopefully this has a lot of value for you. So I'm just reading a passage from Guided Imagery for Self-Healing. Okay, so I'll go ahead and just read. Begin to relax by taking a comfortable position, loosening any restrictive clothing, making arrangements for 30 minutes of unrestricted time. It may not take 30 minutes. Take a few deep breaths and begin to let go of tension as you release each breath. Allow yourself a few minutes to relax more deeply, allowing your body to let go and your mind to become quiet and still. By this time, you should have your eyes closed and be finding yourself in a fairly relaxed state. Imagine yourself descending the 10 stairs that take you deeper to your quiet place. 10, 9, deeper and more relaxed. 8, 7, easily and naturally. 6, 5, deeper and more comfortably relaxed. 4, your mind quiet and still but alert. 3, 2, deeper and more comfortably at ease. And 1. As you relax more deeply, imagine yourself in your special place of beauty and serenity. Take a few minutes to experience the peacefulness and tranquility you find in that place. When you are ready, invite your inner advisor to join you in this special place. Just allow an image to form that represents your inner advisor. A wise, kind figure who knows you well. Let it appear in any way that comes, and accept it as it is for now. It may come in many forms. A wise old man or woman, a friendly animal or bird, a ball of light, a friend or relative, a religious figure. You may not have a visual image at all, but a sense of peacefulness and kindness instead. Accept your advisor as it appears, as long as it seems wise, kind, and compassionate. You will be able to sense its caring for you and its wisdom. Invite it to be comfortable there with you and ask its name. Accept what comes. When you are ready, tell it about your problem. Ask any questions you have concerning the situation. Take all the time you need to do this. Now listen carefully to your advisor's response, as you would to a wise and respected teacher. You may imagine your advisor talking with you, or you may simply have a direct sense of its message in some other way. Allow it to communicate with you in whatever way seems natural. If you are uncertain about the meaning of its advice, or if there are other questions you want to ask, continue the conversation until you feel you have learned all you can at this time. Ask questions. Be open to the responses that come back and consider them carefully. As you consider what your advisor has told you, imagine what your life would be like if you took the advice you have received and put it into action. Do you see any problems or obstacles standing in the way of doing this? If so, what are they? And how might you deal with them in a healthy, constructive way? If you need some help, ask your advisor, who's still here with you. When it seems right, thank your advisor for meeting with you and ask it to tell you the easiest, surest method for getting back in touch with it. Realize that you can call another meeting with your advisor whenever you feel the need. Say goodbye now. Say goodbye for now in whatever way seems appropriate, and allow yourself to come back to waking consciousness by walking up the stairs and counting upward from 1 to 10 as you have before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, becoming more alert. 6, 7, becoming more present in your body. 8, 9. When you reach 10, come wide awake, refreshed and alert, and remembering what was significant or important to you about this meeting. So further reading in this session here says, when you open your eyes, to take some time to write down or record what happened in your experience. Describe your meeting in detail. Just really reflect on the meeting itself. Evaluating the advice that you receive is important to working with your inner advisor. The inner advisor is one of many aspects of your unconscious mind, and so it's still good to weigh out the potential benefits and risks and what's involved. Sometimes the choices that have the most benefits sometimes require a little bit of risk. So something to think about. So just evaluate your circumstances, evaluate the messages that come through. Also, so sometimes your inner advisor doesn't come through on the first try. When I first started working with meditation, I fell asleep all the time, like crashed out, that's it. No benefits, just sleep, because that's what my body needed. It was more exhausted than anything. So it does take a little time to create a practice. So if you don't have any success the first time around, that's okay. Try it again another time that feels right to you, or decide to actively pursue that on a regular basis. This session is like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So if you feel like you can carve out some time in your day to practice that a little bit, there you go. At least until you start to receive those messages that you feel like you need. As long as you stay calm and, kind of relax into it and have an inviting attitude, your inner advisor is more likely to emerge, whatever that looks like. And like I said before, sometimes your inner advisor can show up differently at different times. One time my inner advisor was me. One time my inner advisor was this crazy cat that was dressed like a king, and it was madness. But we won't even get into that right now, because that's a whole nother topic. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this additional meditation. I hope you have received some value. I do know I'll be listening to it again later myself, just because I feel like it's really good to connect with our inner advisor periodically, and it sounds like Spirit is really pushing us to do that. So thanks you all so much for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed. Please do leave a comment. Please like, share if you feel so called. I hope you all have an amazing, blessed day, that you're staying safe and well.